With great solemnity, yet without much pomposity, we asseverate the tremendous, palpable, and evident reality of three specific types of action. A. Actions based on the law of accidents. B. Actions based on the eternal laws of return and recurrence. C. Marvelous actions born from conscious will. The foundation of the first type of action is certainly the natural mechanics of the order of this system of nature. The primordial element of the second type of action is without a doubt the incessant repetition of many dramas, comedies, and tragedies. This always happens through time and space, from life to life. In this painful valley of samsara, the drama is for people that are more or less good. The comedy is for the clowns, and the tragedy for the perverse. Everything comes to occur just as it had occurred, with the addition of the positive or negative consequences. The causa causorum of the third type of action is certainly the causal body or body of conscious will. As a consequence or corollary, we can establish the following enunciation. Actions born of conscious will are only possible once we have given ourselves the luxury of having created a causal body for our particular use. The sexual hydrogen Si-12 can and must pass to a third octave of a superior order by means of sex yoga, with its famous Sahaja Maithuna, sexual magic. The crystallization of this sighted hydrogen into the resplendent and marvelous form of the causal body will be processed with the notes Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si in the mentioned octave. However, nourishment is different. The causal body also needs its nourishment, and this comes precisely from the surplus of hydrogen-12 that was not wasted by the mental body. Obviously, hydrogen-12, do not confuse this with the sexual hydrogen Si-12, can and must be converted into hydrogen-6, which is the specific nourishment of the causal body. Unquestionably, wretched people are always fatal victims of circumstances because they really do not possess the body of conscious will. The categorical imperative, the determinative faculty that permits us to originate new circumstances, is only possible when one possesses the causal body or body of conscious will. With great sincerity and tremendous Gnostic realism, we have to affirm the following. The intellectual animal mistakenly called human being does not have the astral, mental, and causal bodies because he has never created them. It is unacceptable, unsustainable, and inadmissible to suppose even for an instant that the human being could be completely manifested when the cited suprasensible vehicles have not even been elaborated yet. To create within ourselves the mentioned vehicles is the indispensable, urgent, and basic condition needed if truly we want to convert ourselves into authentic human beings. It is a grave error to believe that the three cerebrated or three-centered bipeds come into this world with such vehicles. Infinite possibilities exist in the spinal medulla and in the semen, which when developed can transform us into legitimate human beings. Nonetheless, these possibilities could be lost, and it is even normal for them to be lost if we do not work with the fundamental scale of the hydrogens. The intellective humanoid is not a human, but he boasts of being one. He mistakenly supposes that he is a human being and by dint of ignorance tries to usurp a place which does not correspond to him. He believes himself to be the king of creation when he is not even a king of himself. However, immortality is a very serious matter, and it must be achieved by means of the Sahaja Maithuna, sexual magic. Whosoever builds an astral body as a fact and by his own right becomes immortal in the world of 24 laws. Whosoever grants himself the luxury of creating a mental body clearly reaches immortality in the world of 12 laws. Whosoever forges a causal body undoubtedly achieves the longed-for immortality in the world of 6 laws. We can incarnate that which is called the human soul only by building the sighted solar vehicles. I'm referring to the third aspect of the Hindustani Trimurti, Atman Buddhi Manas. Presently, much has been said about the famous Tusoma Heliacon, the body of gold of the solar man. Unquestionably, it refers to the wedding garment of the soul, cited by the biblical Christic gospel. Obviously, that vesture is compounded by the suprasensible bodies, by those extraordinary crystallizations of the sexual hydrogen Si-12. To enter into the sanctum regnum, Dei magis regnum, without the wedding garment of the soul is in no way possible. With the good purpose of illuminating these paragraphs even more, we have transcribed the following parable of the wedding feast. And Jesus answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding. And they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants, and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth. And he sent forth his armies, and destroyed those murderers, and burned up their city. Then saith he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways, and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22, 1, 14. It is unmistakable and evident that this friend who came without the wedding garment of the soul could not legitimately receive the qualification of human. However, that term is simply granted unto him because of love and respect towards our fellows. How grotesque the parable would have been if it would have said that he saw there an animal which did not have a wedding garment. Obviously, no animal, including the intellectual beast, is ever dressed with the wedding garment of the soul. However, let us return to my particular case in order for us to approach the objective of this chapter a little closer. In the name of the truth, I must state with complete clarity that I was born with the four bodies: physical, astral, mental, and causal. Certainly, to restore the power of the fire in each body to recapitulate initiations was indispensable, urgent, and undefferable for me. I had to patiently repass the fifth initiation of fire after the four anterior initiations. I want to find the term repass in these lines: an intrinsical, transcendental, and transcendent significance. Since in other anterior lives I had already passed through the cosmic initiations of fire, presently I only needed to repass them. When I asked the Logos of our solar system of ores for permission in order to enter into the mysteries of the fifth initiation of fire, the following answer was granted unto me: You no longer need to ask permission in order to enter into the initiation. You have all the rights to do so. The Blessed One then entrusted a noble specialist of the causal world with the mission of assisting and helping me. The sighted specialist had to intelligently conduce for me the sacred fire along the spinal medulla canal of the causal body or body of conscious will. The awakening of the fifth igneous serpent of our magical powers in the Muladhara chakra from the coccygeal bone was celebrated in the temple with great festivity. The ascent of the Kundalini from vertebra to vertebra from chakra to chakra along the dorsal spine of the causal body was performed very slowly according to the merits of the heart. Since I was born, awakened, and since I certainly enjoy that which we can call objective consciousness and objective knowledge, it was very easy for me to bring the memories from the causal world into my physical brain. I clarify. The modern revolutionary psychology of the new age of Aquarius utilizes the terms objective and subjective in the following way. A. Objective, real, spiritual, true, divine, etc. B. Subjective, vague, incoherent, not precise, illusory, fantastical, absurd. I comprehended the necessity of learning to obey the Father on earth as it is in heaven. In that cosmic region, entering into the temple of the music of the spheres was certainly one of my greatest joys. At the threshold of the temple, the guardian taught me one of the secret salutations of the occult fraternity. The face of that guardian resembled a lightning bolt when that man lived in the world. His name was Beethoven. In the causal world, I found many bodhisattvas working intensely for humanity. Each one of these causal humans is behaving marvelously under the direction of their own internal God. Only the causal human has definitively attained immortality. These types of beings are beyond good and evil. To experience the drama of the cosmic Christ in these regions, to convert oneself into the central personage of the whole Via Crucis, is certainly something that can never be forgotten. We need to refine ourselves, to become quintessential, to truly purify ourselves. If truly what we long for is to seriously experience the tremendous realities contained in the divine Christic symbolism, without reprimanding my intimate longings in any manner, I sincerely confess that I saw myself carrying the weight of my own cross in the world of natural causes before the profane multitude, who, infuriated, were stoning me. The miraculously imprinted face of the beloved one on the sacred cloth of Veronica was, to me, very well marked. It is good to remember that the archaeologists discovered many heads of stone crowned with thorns. Such effigies belong to the age of bronze. Clearly, this reminds us of the rune thorn, which we discussed widely in our 1968 Christmas message, The Magic of the Runes. Any person versed in universal Gnosticism knows very well what this rune signifies. The deep significance of the divine face with a head crowned with thorns is the Christ will. On the night of the initiation, I saw upon the sacred altar the cloth of Veronica statically shining with a unique divine diaphaneity and transparency. The final cosmic event inevitably came when the fifth serpent arrived at its correspondent secret chamber in the tranquil heart, after having passed the pineal gland and the magnetic field of the root of the nose. Then, fused with my real being, I rejoiced that I was returning into the childlike paradisiacal state. I prostrated myself before my guru Adolfito when concluding the final ceremony, exclaiming, "Thank you, Venerable Master. I owe all of this to you." While standing up, the Blessed Mahatma answered, "Do not give me your thanks. What I want to know is how you are going to behave in life now. The facts speak for me, Venerable Master. You are seeing it." Such were my words. Posteriorly, I was visited by a great elemental genie. I am referring to that deity which personifies the Sphinx of the Egyptian desert. That being had its feet covered with mud. I understood the deep, esoteric, occult significance. "You bring your feet covered with mud," I said. The mysterious creature was silent. Unquestionably, a washing of feet was what I needed. When I wanted to deposit a holy kiss on its cheeks, delicately it called me to order by saying, "Kiss me with purity." Thus I did so. Later on, I was visited by Isis, whose veil no mortal has lifted, my Divine Mother Kundalini. I immediately interrogated her about my results. Question. O mother of mine, have I already lifted the 5 serpents? Answer. Yes, my son. Question. I want you to help me to raise the 6th and 7th serpents. Answer. You already have those raised. In those instants, a perfect remembrance of myself emerged from within me. Question. I am an ancient master. I was fallen. Now I remember. Answer. Yes, my son. You are a master. Oh, Devi Kundalini. You are Lakshmi, the wife of Vishnu, beloved mother. You are the divine betrothed of Shiva, venerable virgin. You are the aqueous Sarasvati, who is the consort of Brahma. Oh, beloved reader, listen to me. She is certainly the eternal feminine, represented by the moon and by the water. She is the Magna Mater, from where comes the magical M and the famous hieroglyphic of Aquarius. Unquestionably, she is also the universal matrix of the great abyss, the primitive Venus, and the great Virgin Mother who surges forth from the waves of the sea with Cupid Eros, who is her son. Frankly and plainly speaking, we must affirm without any doubt that she is the Hindustani Prakriti and metaphysically Aditi, and even Mula Prakriti. We can never tread upon the rocky path which conduces to the final liberation without the help of the Divine Mother Kundalini.